President of Baseball Operations for the Boston Red Sox, Dave Dombrowski. Dave, you swing the deal for Chris Sale today. Normally, you're a very quiet, respectful, reserved guy, but when you make noise, you make noise.
Well, I think it's the deal itself that makes the noise. So it's a situation where when you're able to acquire somebody like Chris Sale, one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball, it's going to shake a lot of things going on around here at the winter meetings. You don't make the deal for that purpose, but you are happy to get a guy like Chris Sale because he makes us a lot better.
Dave, you mentioned in a previous interview that Rick Hahn of the White Sox first contacted you on Friday. From the moment you first hear from Rick and you have that back and forth, how easy or difficult was it to decide on the players that you had to give up to get a guy like Sale?
Well, despite as good a player as he is, and as we know, Chris Sale's record speaks for itself, so it was never a matter of wanting Chris Sale. It's more a matter of what you have to give up then. And there was a lot of dickering back and forth because we gave up, to me, two of the best prospects in the game. Yohan Moncada, as good as any positional player prospect in my opinion, and Mike Kopech from a right-hand pitching perspective, to me, is as good a pitching prospect as there is now. I think he projects to be a #1 type starting pitcher. So that's tough. And then when you try to add on to that, finding the right names, where do you draw the line, yet you want the player. So there's a lot of negotiating that goes back and forth because you're still trying to protect yourself somewhat, and you'd like to give up as little as you possibly can.
You know, Dave, I look at this from a player's perspective. You know, at a lot of the trade deadlines, general managers either make deals or they don't make the deal, and it sends a message to your ball club. You sent the message to your club today. You guys are going for it.
Well, we are going for it, and you don't make it for that purpose to send the message, but I think they have the message that we're legitimately going for it. We, of course, got Sale. We also got Tyler Thornburg earlier in the day. We really like him as a solid eighth-inning guy. But from our organizational perspective, we're in a spot where we have a good young core of players right now at the big league level. We've won. We're in a spot I think we can continue to win. You can say what all you want, but you have to take care of your own business. We still have some good players within our minor league system, but I think when the players look up and they say that we've made the moves we made today, that they realize that we're going for it.
There is no question you have the pitching depth, but you also mentioned that you lose David Ortiz. How do you fill that hole in your lineup?
Well, I think first of all with David, you never really replace David Ortiz, just the overall presence of what he brings to a club. When he comes up in that middle of the lineup, there's just not only his offensive capabilities, but just the type of person he is. But I think in our situation, we're more apt to, A, get better in other areas, which I think we did with our starting pitching and then with our bullpen. We're also in a spot where we have a lot of good young players, and we've got a number of them that can benefit by getting some time. Even veteran guys like a Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez can spend some time at the DH. So I think we're more apt to mix and match in that role than what we would have in the past. Now, David Ortiz, you're willing to give those at-bats to, but I think from a club perspective, we're looking at that role trying to benefit us and maybe moving people into that spot.
How important was 2016 on what you believe will happen in 2017? And I say that because you had guys that didn't have good seasons. Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts. All these guys just having these great seasons. Rick Porcello, kind of a revelation, and he wins the Cy Young Award. That really kind of sets a different tone for 2017.
Well, I think they believe in themselves. I do believe that. You have young players that step forward. In Rick's case, he's been around a little bit longer, but still young, 27, 28 years of age. So I think it really does set the tempo for us going forward. I think they're ready to assume some of the loss of, say, David Ortiz as far as the leadership capabilities that he has provided. They know it's possible. They've done it. And now it's just a matter that they go out and they try to do it again. You're not always going to duplicate the numbers, but I do think that they know that they're winning type players and they can perform at the major league level at the top capabilities.
Dave, I know they are your players, but if you could take yourself out of the Red Sox realm for a second, make believe you're the Yankees or the Orioles or the Blue Jays, suddenly there's a 3-game series at Fenway, and you're facing Sale, Price, Porcello. How challenging have you guys made it for those teams?
Well, if they're pitching well, it'll be very challenging. And I hope that that's the case. Of course, they've got some pretty good pitchers to throw at us too. So you start winning 1-0 or 2-1 games. But I think we're in a position that we can probably match up with anybody in baseball, but for sure in the American League with that type of setup going into a series.
You know, Dave, how much have you enjoyed the passion of the Red Sox fans up there? Red Sox Nation is crazy. We all know about it, and I'm sure they're excited today as well.
Well, I enjoy it a great deal. Yeah. I mean, it is as passionate a fan base as you will find anywhere. You walk down the street and people are going to give you their opinions. It's a lot nicer to walk down the streets when you win compared to when you lose. But that's what makes it fun, too. That's what makes our job fun. That's what makes our game fun. And so I love being part of it because they just love baseball, love sports, but love baseball in particular out in Boston.
Forget Boston. What's it been like just walking through the hallways here? It seems like everybody is coming up to you and congratulating you. What emotions do you have knowing that that deal is complete?
Well, it makes you feel good that it's done because I think it makes us better. And there's so many people that are involved from an organizational perspective. When you have a chance to win, you go for it. I think we're in a shot that we have a chance to win. Nothing's guaranteed by any means. So when you see people that say, congratulations, that's great, but it really makes you feel good because you think you've accomplished something to make your club better. And that's why you come. Doesn't have to be done at the winter meetings, but if you can do it at the winter meetings when everybody's together, all the much better.
One more before we let you go. What's on the to-do list or wish list from this point on for you?
Well, really, our pitching is set. We did trade Travis Shaw today for Thornburg, so that's a role of somebody that can play some backup first base or play some first base for us. We don't really have that guy to go along with Hanley right now, so that's something we'll be looking to try to do.
All right, Dave, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.